Hello friends. Initially, the CX-9 was equipped with a 3.5-liter gasoline V6 with 263 horsepower. In 2008, it was replaced by a 3.7-liter V6 with 277 horsepower. Both units were developed by Ford and belonged to the Cyclone series. The 3.5-liter was used in the Ford Edge and Explorer, while the 3.7-liter was used in the Ford Mustang and F-150. Motors for the CX-9 were assembled at the Mazda engine plant in Japan. They have a timing chain type drive. After 100 to 150,000 kilometers, a rear engine mount sometimes surrenders. Over time, the starter may also be moping. As a rule, it is possible to get off with cleaning and lubricating the moving gear. After 150,000 kilometers, the pump may leak. The problem is that it is driven through the timing chain, and it is almost impossible to dismantle it without removing the engine. Pulling with the replacement of the water pump is not worth it. Presumably, it was because of the pump on individual specimens that after 150,000 kilometers, an overhaul of the engine was needed. There was overheating, the destruction of pistons, and the rotation of the liners. The engines were matched exclusively with the Aisin TF81SC 6-speed automatic. The box is considered eternal, subject to regular oil changes every 60,000 kilometers. Repair cases are not numerous and occur only after 200,000 kilometers. Attention was demanded by solenoids, the valve body, or the torque converter. The all-wheel drive system created a number of problems. For example, the electromagnetic clutch failed due to a broken wiring. To restore it, people had to remove and disassemble the rear differential. In some cases, thanks to the ingenuity of the mechanic, it was possible to do without disassembling the assembly. Much more serious issues are related to the transfer case. The unit does not have a drain plug. Apparently, the engineers expected that the oil resource would last for a long time. However, the transfer case is located near the exhaust manifold. As a result, the oil overheats and quickly loses its lubricating properties, turning into tar. The result is sad: premature wear of the node. One of the harbingers of trouble is a leaking front right drive oil seal. Thickened grease clogs the breather and bearing lubrication channels. This miscalculation, coupled with corrosion, contributed to another ailment: the destruction of the splines on the shaft connecting the transfer case and the automatic transmission differential. To avoid problems, mechanics recommend drilling a drain hole in the gearbox housing and threading the plug. In the future, the transmission fluid should be updated every 15 to 20,000 kilometers. After a while, it may be necessary to replace the outboard bearing of the driveshaft. In addition, the silent blocks of the rear differential wear out. 2 on the bracket and 2 are pressed into the beam. Only the front-wheel drive versions, which were offered exclusively in the North American market, were spared transmission problems. Signature suspension settings are more likely to gravitate towards sports. The big guy is surprisingly good on twisty roads, but you have to pay for obedience with a smooth ride. However, in terms of agility, the CX-9 is inferior to the smaller Mazda CX-7. McPherson struts are installed on the front axle and a multi-link design on the rear axle. The weak link of the front suspension is the supports, which at times wear out after 20 to 50,000 kilometers. As a result, there is a creak and a knock. The steering rack can knock after 100,000 kilometers. You will need a repair kit and good service. In extreme cases, you will have to purchase a new rail. Rear wheel bearings will last up to 100 to 150,000 kilometers. They change in assembly with the hub. Soon it is the turn of the shock absorbers, more often the front ones. It is worth noting that in 2015, Mazda organized a recall campaign for CX-9s from the 2007 to 2014 model years to replace the front levers due to corrosion and destruction of ball joints. Our country was not affected by this review. Over time, the steering wheel coating is erased in the cabin, and numerous scratches are found on the silver decorative overlays. Some owners with high mileage note the appearance of play in the back of the driver's seat. The repair is very expensive. The seat frame needs to be replaced. Sometimes the tailgate electric drive fails. Water through the leaky corrugation of the wiring enters the servo motor and control board. The heater motor may also need to be replaced. Traces of corrosion, as a rule, can only be found on the tailgate near the chrome lining. The chrome on the exterior elements does not stand out in durability. If you know of other model malfunctions, be sure to write about it.